Time for an all-new Blitz here on Windstream Channel 4. I'm your host, Brian Carter. Got a great show for you. We're going to start out here at Dawson County High School with head Lady Tigers basketball coach Steve Sweat. Coach, I've had you on here about a half a dozen times. It never gets old. I always appreciate having you on the show.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. It's always fun to be on the show. We appreciate what y'all do.
Yeah, you're one of my favorite coaches to have on here, just to say. But
well,
Coach,
bless your heart.
last year was you can't even put it into words. Just a dream season for you. 27-6, all the way to the state championship game, the runner-up finish. Have you been able to wrap your head around that yet? Trying to get into this season.
Well, you do. You enjoy it while it's going on. Yeah. That's pretty obvious. And, the support we had from the community was tremendous. If anybody came to any of our games, they were a sea of either maroon or gold there every time, which was really great. They love basketball here. It was fun. It was wonderful while it was happening. But when that year's over, we got to start again.
Yeah, that's so hard to do, though.
Well, it is, but you don't have any choice.
Yeah.
If you look around, you don't see anything in here about last year.
True.
There's a point to that.
Yeah.
Last year was last year. We got to do this year.
And now last year may be last year, but the cool thing, you're starting out just like you always seem to do, 4-0. 1-0 in region play. You got the region win out of the way. And you got to go back some years to find a year where you guys don't start out on the right foot. So you guys do pretty well starting out. It seems from the outside perspective that your team hasn't missed a beat. Is that the case, or is it too early to tell?
Well, I appreciate you saying that. I hope that's the case. We play a lot of games. Our kids work hard. We got kids that play on different AAU teams. We got kids that are in the gym every time we open the doors. Most of them are always here. They love, again, like I said, they love basketball. Yeah. Got a good group came back with us this time. We, I think I had mentioned to you earlier, we played about 30 games this summer. Mm-hmm. We played 33 games last season, which was from November to March. And then in the month of June, I think we played almost 30 games. So we've played a lot of basketball since we've been out.
Yeah, 2 seasons worth before the next season starts.
So that's sort of, I guess, if that answers your question, that's how we keep going. As soon as school's out, we started practice. Even, from March to May, they had a little break, and most all of them play a different sport anyway, so which keeps them in shape, and we appreciate that from the girls. Then as soon as school's out, we start practicing, and then we play all the way through June, and then practice a little bit in July, and then take off till October.
Now, there's no way to understate this next fact. You had a monumental class of seniors last year. I've never seen a group of girls like that just had so much chemistry, and just to sit back and watch that team get built up and then have the season they had. But how awesome was it, apart from, Carly Gilreath, our reigning player of the year, leaving, and all those great girls you had, how big was it for you to be able to have Carly hand those keys, so to speak, to Cheyenne Seabolt and Ashley Parker and Carly Bearden, 3 big playmakers you had from last year?
True. Well, you got to go with what you feel like your strengths are. And everybody knows this year we had our 3, 4, and 5 all come back. Mm-hmm. Now, we lost some good guards. We lost the backups to those players, and some of them even started in that group of 6 seniors. Mm-hmm. But, it's – and not to sound rude or anything, but when those 6 leave, we put 6 in their spot.
Yeah, you have to.
So we don't have any choice. And we feel like we got some good players. Now, we don't have the experience that we had last year.
Yeah.
Because of having those 6 seniors, that's a lot of experience on the floor.
And that's where I was going with next is the supporting cast goes a long way. And last year, like you said, out of your 6 seniors, there were some games where you had only 2 of them starting. And it was amazing just watching the depth you had coming off the bench. And that was your biggest strength last year. And then this year, it's the biggest question mark, so to speak, coming in. How do you kind of fill those holes?
Well, we get each person in the spot that we think they ought to be in. Mm-hmm. Everybody, we talk about playing your role a lot, and we expect everybody to do that. And the ones, there's going to be a person in each of those spots this year, and they're going to be expected to do that. Yeah. And so far, it's worked for us, and thank goodness we're 4-0. We had the big win last night against Fannin County, and which was a region win. And anytime you get a win in our region, that's a good thing. You know that. And so with those kids that we got coming now, the biggest thing that they don't have is the experience. Mm-hmm. And that means we got to get them in the games. We got to get them some playing time. We've got to get them some floor time, and so that they will be ready when it comes down to the end of the year, that they'll be ready to go in there and play like they've played the whole time.
And in the summer games, as you mentioned, over 60 games, I'm guessing you played over the summer. That definitely plays into that as well.
Correct.
Let's talk about the last year and in a few years past with that group that just graduated, especially, notably Carly Gilreath, Casey Beard, and Hannah Porter. I think the primary three that comes to my mind as the perimeter type shooters that you had. And you got to play to your strengths. I understand that. Now, this year, it appears like your team is more built from the inside out, starting with the post with Cheyenne Seabolt and Ashley Parker. Is that the case?
Yeah, I think it is. I think you're right. I don't know. I hope everybody don't watch this and realize that we want to throw the ball inside.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm just messing with you. Everybody knows that's what we want to do, But we got some kids that we feel like can shoot the three. Mm-hmm. We got certain ones that, again, back to their role, that is their role. And they're supposed to shoot now. And, of course, we want to get them where they can shoot and make them because, making them opens up the inside, which is really where we want to go anyway. Our post players are strong. We've had, so far, the three, Cheyenne, Ashley, and Carly have all, I'm pretty sure they're averaging double digits, all three of them, which means, we got a real good balance. Now, we're looking, and our kids know this, we're looking for two more to step in and give us some scoring in them other two spots. Yeah. And we don't care who it is. We're just going to put them out there, and we're going to see who's doing the best, and we're going to fill the spots.
And that's a good point. And just to throw off the viewers so they're not zoning in on one or two people, last year what was so awesome about that is every night it could be any given player on your team that made the big shot, the big free throw down the stretch, the big block, the big steal, rebound, whatever. It was always somebody different. And so this year I guess you have – some of those players that you're plugging in the holes that could be that player this year, right?
Exactly. And they're going to have to do that. Somebody, and we got, we got 4 or 5 that we feel like can do that. And that's just a matter of who does it first, and they're going to get rewarded with some playing time. Right, yeah. And that's the way it works around here. Right now, we're filtering through probably a lot more players than we normally would, and more than we probably will towards the end. Right. Once we find out and feel like we got the ones in those holes to fill those holes, then those people are going to be playing a lot, just like we always do. Yeah. And then, of course, by that time, it's going to be tournament time, and we hope everything's clicking and rolling like it should be.
Yeah, hopefully it will. Last question, Coach, and then I'll let you go. But before, talk about making the most of your opportunities. You more than did that last season. 11 years before, the Lady Tigers had made the state playoffs. They get there. They weren't just content with being there. They went all the way. That was unbelievable. But, there was that 11-year gap. What do you have to do as a coach to try to prevent that? I know it can be very difficult when you have to reload, but what's the secret to kind of not having that happen again?
Well, I think, and you've heard a lot of people say this, and I know it's an old cliche, I guess they say, winning breeds winning. And I really think it does. We've got sisters on this team that were with us, that were sisters to the older ones that played last year in that group of 6 seniors. And, they come from the same house that them other ones came from, and so they bring everything back to us again. I hope that's going to play in our favor. Plus the fact that the kids that we got returning, they were there. They saw what happened. They had a part in that. They were a part of it happening. And so we feel like that they're bringing all of that back to this year. Okay. Yeah. And so, our focus is this year. I don't talk about last year much. It is what it is, and we really enjoyed it, like I said, but now we got to play this year's games. Yeah. And it's like I told them the other day with the fact that I said, do you really think anybody in our region is going to care that we went to the state tournament? they're not going to worry about that when
focused on now.
They want to beat us now, then they can say they beat somebody that went to the state championship. Yeah. So we need to prevent that from happening. And to close the gap, we want to go to the state tournament every year, just like everybody else does. We want that. We feel like we got the players to do that. We just got to all go and do our job, and hopefully it won't be another 11 years. I hope it'll be back-to-back.
I hope so, too, and maybe 11 years in a row and keep it going from there.
Well, I don't know about that if that's going to be me, but okay.
Well, Coach, we really appreciate having you on the show, and just always enjoy having you on. Thank you so much for your time, and wish you the best of luck this year, and I'm really hoping you guys are playing well into March again this year.
Thank you very much. Hey, it's always good to be here. You know that. You're welcome at Dawson County anytime.
I appreciate that. Thanks, Coach. When we come back, we're going to have a pair of the Lady Tigers here on Blitz, Ashley Parker and Cheyenne Seabolt.
But you only need the light when it's burning low. Only miss the sun when it starts to snow. Only know you love her when you let her go.